maybe it's a big mistake, I've wasted my education, maybe I should get a job. There were days when I would question my talent, the way I looked. Am I really in it for the right reasons? Loneliness, not knowing what the hell to do. What is this world? I mean, for instance, when I stepped on a set for the first time, I didn't know what a set was. The Lunchbox is a gift that keeps giving. Hello.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
Lovely to
Welcome
meet
to the
you.
Quint, and thank you so much for doing this for us.
It's my pleasure.
I'm so excited because conversations and drives are like some of my favorite things to do. So I'm glad that we're starting my day with this. What about you?
I can't wait. Let's jump in.
Yeah.
Strapped up?
A minute.
Right.
Before we talk about, when you moved to the city and what it was like for you, your career and everything, if I could just take you way back when you were a kid, right?
Yeah.
What were those days like for you? You were also an army child who really moved around a lot, right?
Yeah.
What were those days like for you?
Full of adventure, full of travel.
Right.
You're making new friends every 2 or 3 years. So this concept, especially in Mumbai, I have friends who've had friends for 25, 30 years, and I'm like, I just don't understand that concept. I only have family I know for that long.
Yeah.
So you make friends all the time, new friends all the time, and it's such an adventure being in the army and growing up like that. I know that my worldview is very open. I'm always up for meeting new people, making myself feel at home no matter where I am.
Right.
And it's almost like, no matter where you're planted, you're kind of accustomed to grow your roots there.
Some of the challenges you faced when you came in here to be an actor.
Loneliness, not knowing what the hell to do. What is this world? I mean, for instance, when I stepped on a set for the first time, I didn't know what a set was. I didn't know a set was actually so dirty. There are so many wires and there's dust and there are people scrambling around for something or the other at all times. It was just something that I just didn't know how to wrap my head around.
Right.
So, auditions, rejections, not getting a feeling of whether what you're here for is really going to work out or not, how much time to wait out for. There is no, there is no system.
So while you were, trying to make a name here, get films, get ads, did you ever for a minute think, should I just go back? It's too much? Or were you like, no, this is what I came here to do and I'm going to go?
No, there were days, I won't lie. There were days when I was like, what am I doing? Maybe it's a big mistake. I've wasted my education. Maybe I should get a job. And there were days when I would question my talent, the way I looked. Am I really in it for the right reasons? Because you're just one among millions of people that come to the city with the same dream and the same hopes and aspirations and all that stuff. And you're just hoping, yes, that, things work out, but that doesn't mean they will. And just because you get one ad or one print ad or something like that, because I started my career with modeling, that doesn't assure you of anything else, So you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from and things like that. So there were many days, many days. I don't know what it was that stopped me from going back, but there was something that I knew that, no matter what, I'm not just gonna give up.
So what was that like for you, the auditions and, really running from pillar to post to get some work?
It was very hectic and it wasn't easy, man. Yeah, one can't afford cab fares and you don't have the money to have an easy way of going from audition to audition. So I used to take trains, autos, buses, whatever I could. Sometimes distances from A to B were very, very long. So you had to plan that how much money do I have to spend where. So you always were kind of working backwards from money. That, how much money do you have? You're going to eat, you're going to travel. This is what I have and this is what I need to, what I have to spend. And so given that, plus then, you have makeup on and all. I remember this one day when it was pouring. I was in an auto, I was going somewhere for a screen test. And one bus or something splashed so much water onto me. So I was in tears, all my makeup came off, and I was so sad. I was like, oh my god. You know, you remember those days, but you also kind of give yourself a pat on the back that, you know what, I could have turned around that time and gone back home and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this and forget it. But I didn't. I still went. So I believe those are the things that make you tougher and they kind of ready you for bigger challenges.
You know, talking about challenges in your life, has there ever been a time that, you know, it's been like the toughest phase of your life, but you've worked around it and you say, you know what, that was maybe something that really also defines the person that I am today in a larger scheme of things?
Yeah, I think that would have to be losing my father at age 11. And that was somewhat, you know, that was a defining moment in one's life where I knew that, you know, it's not just the loss of a parent, it is also the loss of a sense of life and your identity as you know it, because everything was, you know, army and growing up in cantonment, so that was over as we knew it. So that I think that is the foundation of, you know, who I am, because one really pretty much grew up overnight.
Okay, so if we can talk about your first film, you know, how did that happen for you?
Oh, so Ritesh Batra, who's the director and the writer of the Lunchbox, he was looking for a new face for this part. The casting director of the film, Seher Latif, she asked him to come and, you know, watch a couple of my plays. And that was how it happened. It was really that simple. There was no screen test, there was nothing. Sometimes the greatest gifts come to you in a way that even you don't, you know, expect or fathom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And those surprises are the best,
Oh,
right?
they're the best.
Yeah.
The Lunchbox is a gift that keeps giving. The Lunchbox was really what made, you know, changed me from just being a model and someone to Nimrat Kaur. You know, people know who you are.
Right.
So that's what it did.
You, of course, worked with Mr. Irrfan Khan in the film, and I'm sure that would have been really special as well. What was that like?
I mean, it was beautiful. The script was unbelievably lovely, and I couldn't have imagined anyone else playing that part, you know, in the way that he did. And it was really like, it was a bit daunting because everyone was like, you know, just make sure you kind of like, you know, do justice to your part, because there's not just Irrfan, there is also Nawazuddin Siddiqui. It was something that I was hoping I'd be prepared for, even though my work was pretty much in isolation and we don't really have any scenes together. But it was pretty daunting nonetheless.
Yeah. You know, how did Homeland happen for you, by the way? I have to
Because
say
of the
it's one
Lunchbox.
Ah, wow. Okay. Yeah. Like you said, a gift that keeps on giving is the Lunchbox.
So they watched the Lunchbox and, you know, they were like, oh my God, she's going to make such a great spy. And I said, you know what, hats off to you for making that connection and for kind of, you know, seeing an ISI spy or an agent in a lonely, loveless housewife.
Yeah.
So,
but just, I mean, that's what I'm thinking. How do they draw that from that?
it's, you know what, it's their genius. Quite
Yeah,
honestly,
that's
and
true.
It was really incredible.
Yeah, it was really
such a great experience.
You've of course been a part of so many projects, etc. You worked with so many actors. Do you have an actor who you absolutely love collaborating with?
No, actually, I haven't gone back to work again and again with the same people. But I honestly love working with any kind of actor that loves their job. You know, sometimes I've worked with certain younger actors who are, you know, in their teens. I did a series recently called School of Lies. And it was so exciting to be around, you know, 15, 16-year-olds who have such freshness and such exuberance and such an understanding. Yeah. You know, I was shocked. I was like at 15, 16, I was in pigtails running around, you know, wondering which tree to climb. Yeah. You know, it was like that. And these kids, they have like so much, such a deep understanding of things. And then I recently worked with Mr. Bachchan in Section 84. And that experience, you know, it changes you, and you are like, you know, these are dreams that, some of these dreams one hasn't even dreamt, because, you know, you come from such a faraway world. So all of this changes you bit by bit and for the better. We have a nariyal pani wala right there. We'll find a shaded spot. Let's see if he can come this side. How about that? Bhaiya, do nariyal pani, bina malai.
You usually come here and get nariyal pani? No. So what's your favorite spot on Carter Road if you had to pick one?
My favorite spot? It's my house.
You said you love sunsets. Do you come and see the sunset or is it just from your window? And
It's from my house. I watch my sunsets from my couch.
What do you usually like to do when you have all the free time in the world?
I exercise. I love workouts. I love catching up with friends. Going for movies. I love going to the movies. I love it. I don't even need company for it. Like I love trekking. I love hiking.
Oh wow, I didn't know
do a lot of
that. Okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of that.
So do you go around the city somewhere close by?
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. This feels nice on this hot day.
Oh, so nice.
Oh.
Wow. There's nothing like a nice nariyal pani.
Yeah. Okay, tell me, Nimrat, what are you most looking forward to now?
Life. Every day, every single day, the next job, the next experience, the next skill I'll learn, everything.
Right. Are you investing your time in learning a new skill?
Currently, no.
Okay.
But I have of late made it, I make sure that I meditate every day. So that's something that has become a very big part of my day. Like it has to happen. Because my mind, I'm a very, very active person. So I like to I'm always up and about and I'm always, doing something or the other. So I've learned to sit down and just breathe.
What do you think about, like we were just crossing by, the Paps were here, you said hi very sweetly to them, they responded back. As exciting it is, because of course you are a public figure, do you find it a little overbearing sometimes to kind of keep that distance from private to personal space?
I'm pretty good at doing that. It's also very important to have a happy relationship with being out there, because that is why I'm an actor. I'm not an actor so that I can stay inside my house and nobody should recognize me. I love that part of life as well. It brings so much joy to my my family. My mom was here recently actually. She left just yesterday. I went to the airport to drop her and the paparazzi was there. They were perhaps there to photograph someone else and I was all teary-eyed and I wanted to just be easy and kind of say bye to her and instead I got a bit confused, so I said okay, the Paps are here, so okay, we'll take pictures. However, we were photographed and it made her so happy. She's like, my friends are sending me these videos and pictures and so it's also like it's a double-edged sword, but it's also how you handle it, and I think I know how to handle it. Sometimes you just rather be by yourself, but then there's again like such an upside to it that I can't wish it away. I don't.
But tell me something, when you told your mom that you wanted to be an actor, was she extremely open about it? Because she seems like someone who was, but I still want to ask it.
I was in college, when I mustered up the courage first to admit to myself that I think this is what I want to do, because nobody in my family has ever acted. So it was very daunting to first admit it to myself and then have the courage to tell my mom. Not because she wouldn't allow me to do what I wanted to do. She's very open and very lovely and extremely fearless like that. But nonetheless, she's a parent, and to send your young daughter out into the woods and you're into the big bad world of the movies, and we don't know what happens there, and it was difficult, but I always got so much courage out of her perspective on the fact that I wanted to do this.
Right. So if I had to ask you, if you had to say give an advice, or not an advice, or a learning that you had along the way you wish someone had told you when you started off, and if you had to say to somebody who is aspiring to be an actor today, what would that be?
Don't worry or don't think so much about what other people think of you. I think I spend too much time sometimes worrying about what's this one going to think. Don't let anyone else project their opinion upon you.
So see, if I had to ask you a highlight, when you look back for over a decade now, you've been a part of the industry. If you had to think of one highlight from your career till date, as you sit here today, what would that be?
One highlight?
You can give me 3.
I think it would be the Lunchbox premiering at the Cannes Film Festival. It was surreal.
Yeah.
It was such a magic moment, so unprecedented, and it just came out of nowhere. It was like a tsunami of love, and oh my God, and what's happening, and what's gonna happen, and it was just something that I don't think I realized after months of it actually happening.
Right.
I did.
Right.
It's sometimes life gives you more than you'd imagined, and then you just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It was that moment in my life. So yeah, so much more to be done, and
Yes.
so many more places to go to.
Right.
But I'm never going to be the one to say that okay, I've arrived or this is it.
Nimrat, before we go, I have just one more question for you. What are a few things that come to your mind? What are the changes that you've seen in you as a person, and what you've seen along this journey? What have been your learnings?
Heavy, big question, big question. It makes me want to give a very cerebral answer, but I'll keep it simple, I think that my biggest strength is that I'm always unlearning everything I think I've learned. Because I feel like I don't like to travel heavy, or I don't like to travel with the baggage of what I know and what my understanding of life is or whatever. I feel like the lighter you travel, the easier you are, the more accepting you are of new people and letting go of your patterns. And we all have them, we all have preferences and patterns, and as we keep going forward in life, they just keep getting more and more set.
Thank you so much, Nimrat. This was really so much fun and such an interesting conversation. But thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
I did. And you're a great driver, by the way.